Hi, this is Kimberly. Welcome to Day 4 Testimony, Part 4, Episode 17 of As the Mobile Home Park Wheels Turn, starring Chris McNabb and Cortney Bell. One little doodad that I need to mention right off the bat, and the reason I need to is due to the fact that I keep having a lapse of memory. Imagine that. But I wanted to mention that I find something very intriguing that both Chris and Cortney, they seemed to be paying a lot of attention to whoever taught them the swaddling technique at the hospital. And I tell you, Chris is all over it. He talks about it all the time. And he keeps saying, snug as a bug in a rug, like they know what he's talking about. And they're like, uh-huh. And remember how Cortney, she stopped her interview when they were talking about it and even showed Investigator Alexander and the other person, I think it was a deputy, but she showed them on the table how you do it, how you swaddle a baby. She'll probably never forget that. She was just doing it over and over, like it brought comfort to her or something, but it was very endearing to me, honestly. Don't hate me for that. I want to mother everybody. I want to be everybody's mom that needs one. Not that I have the energy, mind you. It's just a thing in my heart. I think if they had not been drug addicts, they would have been some alright parents. It's just some drips and drabs that I've heard both of them say during their conversations with the research personnel at the Newton County Sheriff's Office. But yeah, just some little things they say now and then. I'm like, The other thing I wanted to mention to my fellow gumshoes, have y'all paid close attention as to how much Cortney talks about the totes? I mean, obsessed with talking about the totes. And I'm really starting to think one of those totes fell on the baby. I'm thinking that, or I'm thinking the baby really may have been kidnapped by one of their wayward acquaintances. I don't know. We'll talk about this more later, about my theories. But now, those of you that are leaning the other way, please don't get mad at me. I'm very soft-hearted, but I'm also sensible. I need to see all of the information. And even if I feel sorry for them, that doesn't mean I can't say they did this shit. So please don't misunderstand me. I have a problem. It makes my family mad because I am very, very soft-hearted. They call it other things that make me mad, but it's okay. The totes. Cortney talks about the totes all the time. So please kindly leave your comments, if you will, on your tote theory. There's something about the totes and the way Cortney talks about putting the smaller tote on top of the bigger tote, but it was next to the baby. She was blocking the air conditioner, and then when she discovered the baby was missing, that tote that she moved was on the bed, and the way she kept insisting to check the totes, check the totes, check the totes. I wonder if she's ever laid the baby in a tote as a crib before. Who knows? Leave your comments on your tote theory if you have one. I would love to hear it. I'm willing to bet that for the same cost of totes, they could have been enjoying a nice new dresser. Chris doesn't mention the totes as much as Cortney does, but Cortney had said they use totes because they can't afford dressers for their clothes. Well, totes are expensive too. I'm willing to bet that for the same cost of totes, they could have been enjoying a nice new dresser from Walmart or Big Lots or even Goodwill. Walmart and Big Lots have the kind that you assemble yourself. They have cardboard backing to them. You know what I'm talking about, right? They could forfeit a night or two, maybe 3 of meth. Well, I don't know what the cost is because I myself don't partake in street drugs. And no, I'm not perfect, as one jackass recently suggested. Sarcastically, of course. I know sarcasm. But he must be new to my channel. We've already gone over this shit. I am not perfect. And if you were expecting that from me, stop. You will be sorely displeased and frustrated and disgruntled, probably a little bit depressed, surely disillusioned, disenchanted, and very annoyed, and a tiny bit of crestfallen. How careless of me. I do apologize for not being perfect. Anyway, that jackass got blocked, as all jackasses do. Anybody who's an ass. That's the rules. If you've been around a while, you already know the goddamn rules. And if it's your first time here and you break them, tough shit. You're blocked. 'Cause you're a fucking asshole. I assume you will continue to be a fucking asshole if you continue to come to my channel. I suggest you don't. So, fuck off and fuck out of here. But I digress. And then they could repurpose the totes as dining room chairs. They could have even gotten a card table. Wait, they had a dining table, right? Did it have chairs? I don't remember. Well, they could have been repurposed for lawn furniture, bedside tables, toy boxes. I once saw a man, literally furnished his entire apartment with FedEx boxes. He made a couch, a coffee table, side tables, a bed. Those things are sturdy as shit. My son found it on, I think, YouTube one time and showed it to me. I'm gonna see if I can find it for y'all. If I do, it'll be in the description. One other thing, I didn't do it at the very beginning of the interrogation room, but you know how the sound has been horrible. Well, I got the brilliant idea of trying to clean it up like I did with that Chris Watson February 2019 interview. So, and it worked. I mean, you can understand Chris a little bit better than before. There's never any problem with the investigators. They speak very clearly, as I discussed in another video. I know I repeat myself. Thank you for reminding me. Those of you that remind me, that is. Actually, what I mean by that is fuck off. And then last, before we get on with this shit, before we get on with the show, I just want to give a little bit of a hint that we have a bit of a mystery solved in this video. I won't spoil it for you, but I will say we now know why they kept looking under the porch and under the trailer for little baby Caliyah. And yeah, Chris kind of explains that. This is the beginning of his... They call it an interview, but I don't know. It's more like interrogation, but this is the beginning of it. It'll be broken up into parts because it takes a while to do. Thanks for being here today. I do appreciate you so much, more than you'll ever know. And I do hope you enjoy this episode, today's presentation. Much love and peace. Thank you for listening.
Okay, Ms. An, you may proceed.
Investigator Alexander, in that last statement that we just played, which was your interview and Investigator Freeman's interview of Cortney Bell on October the 8th, I believe there was a reference from Investigator Freeman as to the time in this interview. Do you recall what that was?
I believe you said it's 17:02, which is 5:02 in the evening.
Would that have been prior to your interview of Mr. McNabb on that date after he was arrested?
Yes.
Okay. Now, at some point in the statement, I believe there was a line of questioning about a blue shirt that Clarissa was wearing that her mother, Cortney, took off on the night of the 7th before Clarissa went to bed. Do you recall that conversation?
I did.
And in the transcript, I believe it says that it was described as a blue T-shirt with rainbow, and then it says indiscernible. Right. Have you had an opportunity to listen to the recording to see if that transcript was correct?
I have. The transcript, you want me to go on? Transcript is not correct. She just says blue regular T-shirt.
Okay. So Clarissa was wearing a blue...
regular T-shirt.
That she took off?
Yes.
Okay. Now, was Mr. McNabb captured that evening by Newton County Sheriff's deputies after he jumped out of the car and ran.
He was taken into custody, yes, ma'am.
And he was taken into custody again on what type of warrant?
It was a probation warrant.
Okay, so when he was brought to the sheriff's office, was he under arrest at that point in time for murder or anything of that nature?
No, just a probation violation.
Nonetheless, did you again go over his rights with him and use the Miranda form that you had used in the previous interview the previous day?
I did.
And Your Honor, again, that's already been submitted in the record as State's Exhibit number 2, and we would resubmit it for the purpose of this trial.
Okay.
All right. When Mr. McNabb was brought into the sheriff's office, were you already there?
Just a second. I don't have down, y'all know what she's talking about.
We do.
Have you got it here with you on 2?
Yes, Judge. It's been, I believe it's up here in evidence already.
I don't have it marked as already tendered is what I'm saying.
Yes, they were marked as 2 before in the motion hearings. So we
That's
just,
the motions hearings.
right.
So you're asking that be re-entered in this
Yes.
hearing.
Yes.
Y'all have any objections, either side?
No, sir, Your Honor.
So then admit it without objection.
When Mr. McNabb was brought in after being arrested, what can you describe what his condition was in terms of his clothing and his
Sure,
body?
he was soaking wet, head to toe from the rain, you know, being outside all day.
And is the sheriff's office typically warm or cool in the interview rooms?
We keep it pretty cool in there, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did you then allow Mr. McNabb to remove those clothes that he was wearing that were wet and change into a gel jumpsuit?
We did right away, because he was going to be taken into custody and sent downstairs to the detention center anyway, so I had them bring up one of the detention jumpsuits to change out of his clothes.
And have you had an opportunity to review the audio recording of the interview and the video recording of the interview that you conducted with Mr. McNabb on October 8, 2017?
I have.
Is it a fair and accurate recording?
It is.
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit number 82 into evidence.
Judge, this is subject to the objection I made earlier and we've had
Okay.
hearings on.
Subject to that objection, the court will admit it into evidence.
Also tendering State's Exhibit 83, which is a transcript of that.
I'm gonna go ahead and read this one more time. Any out-of-court statement made by one of the defendants on trial in this case after the alleged criminal act has ended may be considered only against the person who made the statement and only if you find that such statement was freely and voluntarily made. If you find that an out-of-court statement was made to the police freely and voluntarily by a defendant on trial in the case, then you are to consider the statement only as against the particular defendant who made it. Is that clear to everybody? Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Get arranged to get a jumpsuit from and the record and some shoes right quick. Clothes for you got probation. I don't know why I went to the report to the 23rd. It was a shoot. Nine. You leave that open, you can come on. Chris, you got drunk? Miss Mark, or anything? Well, I assume you're not. What we got? Yes, I don't like that anyway. You don't want any acting, well. I mean, I know that, don't I? You know what I mean? I want you to say you can right to say, Chris, okay?
Jumpsuit up there.
Make an arrangement for him to get changed, yes, ma'am.
The defense doesn't have an objection. I was going to skip ahead past.
You got somebody up here with you, or you get everybody done? Actually, Wade's back there. You want to run back there and tell Wade that we're here?
To skip ahead, Judge, to where I believe it'll started at about 12:40 when they actually started interviewing. That would be on page 3 where they start interviewing them after they get all the clothing worked out. Big large paragraph.
Any objections? Okay, y'all can flip to page 3.
Oops. We need it done. Get that? Yeah, he's on the side. I'll share out of it. Yeah, he did. What that's not bad. Put that on. We're going to start off today, Chris, just like we did yesterday. And because of that, there's now probation warrant on you. Have to do this way, okay? This is the right one, just like Mama went over yesterday. So I understand I have the following rights. Number 1 says I have the right to remain silent. Number 2, anything I say can be used in court of law. Number 3 says I have the right to talk with an attorney and have that person present while I'm being questioned. Number 4 says I can afford to hire an attorney when be appointed by the court to represent before question. You've already initialed there. And number 5 says I can exercise my rights at any time and not answer any questions made to the statements. Okay, and this right here says, having these rights in mind, I wish to speak with law enforcement. I have not to promise anything or have threatened, coerced, or forced in any way to make this statement. Understand all that? You want to talk with us this evening? All right, print and sign just like yesterday. Take this here. Like I said, now you're aware that there's a probation going on. You don't have all the details about why and all that. So, what we'd like to talk again today is just like we talked about yesterday, is your daughter, Caliyah. Okay? And I'm sure you're aware that she's been located, right? Okay. Tell me about how you heard this.
I was driving in the car on the way back up there from all the way to get on the news.
Okay.
And I think it was her and Kim called, and she had her on speakerphone, and she was like, they found her. And said that she was passed away.
They said that she had passed
They
away?
said that she was located on the side of the road and that she was dead. And that I knew.
They said all that on the phone.
That was what that lady said. Her exact words was, Chris done it. She was found on the side of the road. My old lady was asking, well, why didn't she get found with the dog out there? And then she just kept saying that I done it. She kept saying, Chris done it. So when I stopped at a red light, I jumped out. I wasn't done. Well, because people, obviously, somebody told her that. She was thinking, somebody told her that they thought I done it. Somebody told her, she had to have some kind of something other than her opinion, I thought.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was being good for you.
Let you go home, right?
Yes, sir.
So tell me about this whole thing. Go through the day yesterday again for me.
I'm not going to do this anymore.
Why not?
Shocked, I guess.
Yeah.
I just know that whatever happened to my child, I didn't have anything to do with it. That's all I know. I know for a fact. Whatever happened to her, wherever she's at, wherever she was, I didn't have anything to do with it.
Nothing at all.
Nothing else.
Yeah, where she was found?
All that lady said on the phone was on the side of the road.
So, But tell me again, there was a phone on the speaker in the car?
Somebody called my girlfriend when we were on the way to the church.
Right.
And I think it was her Aunt Kim. And she was trying to find out what was going on because there was like Facebook messages came, like 2 or 3 of them came from 2 or 3 different people on my old lady's phone.
Okay.
It said that the baby was found.
Okay.
And she didn't have any data, so she couldn't figure it out. She couldn't figure out anything more than that, so she finally got in touch with somebody, and I think it was her Aunt Kim. And her Aunt Kim said that she asked her where she was at, and her Aunt Kim said something about they found her on the side of the road. And it was Chris did. And my old lady was like, well, if she was on the side of the road, then how come the dog didn't find her? How come she wasn't found when they looked? And she just kept, the lady just kept repeating, Chris did. You hear me? Chris, Chris.
And you think that lady was who?
I think it's her. The one that was there all day yesterday. Either way, I got scared. Because I felt like I was being accused anyway. And I felt like all the eyes were on me and stuff. I felt like I was the one who everybody talked about. Everything is being said on Facebook. Everything is being said amongst people in real life. Most people think I had something to do with it.
Why is it?
I got scared.
Why is it? Why?
Nothing has any reason to believe that I would do anything like that. I've never done anything like that. I've never showed anything that would point towards that.
You drugs? When's the last time you did any drugs?
Today.
Today? Where did you do that, man? Where did you do that? Yesterday when you were sitting in? Did you do that Friday night?
I did that every night.
Every night. What about Cortney? No? Why did she say she did?
She said I didn't.
She said you would. That's what she said. You want her to do the bump?
I don't know about no ball.
Through the pipe and smoke part of the roach, is that right? Yep. And y'all have sex of some kind and then went to sleep. After this is right before you did the change baby diaper, sir, 5 o'clock. Right? You can tell me that? Is that
I
true?
guess it was 5.
Yeah.
I never really put time on it.
So you were saying time yesterday.
I knew it was anywhere from 3 to 5.
Yeah.
Somewhere around.
So did you and Corey have sex Friday night? Okay. And did you and Corey smoke meth Friday night?
I smoked it. I don't know what she did. She was like,
Well, she said she did with you. Smoked a little marijuana. Is that right? Yeah. And then y'all had sex, and then you in the bathroom cleaning up. Is that when the baby woke up?
that's what I'm thinking of.
After sex.
I ain't going back to the thing about that on the couch.
So when the baby woke up about that time? And then what did you do?
I took her outside on the porch.
On the front porch, right? See here?
Because Cortney was like, don't bring her in here to the float. Take her outside. So I took her on the front porch. And I brought her back in. I set her in the room sitting on the bed. I got no feeder. I can't remember if that was the time that me and Cortney both changed to the doctor or not. I can't remember if that was the time. There was a few times that night where she had to, somebody had to get her. To make sure she was okay and everything. And take care of her and get her whatever you need to do.
Okay. So the last time you had anything to do with her, what did you do?
I put her to sleep. I fed her.
Okay.
I got no feeder. I put her on the bed. I folded her blanket up, laid it forward. And I wrapped her up, and I laid her, I laid her in the, whatever that thing called. In the bed that she sleeps in, it's a bed. Put her back to her on top of her. Put her down? No, put her on top of her body, because she was already putting her. Then you did what? I went to the living room. Okay. What did you do? Took a cigarette out of Courtney's hand, and she was falling asleep. Hit it a couple times, put it out, and fell asleep with it. Woke up at 9:30 and texted my dad. Okay, what did you do? I got checked on the baby that was both in there. I grabbed the blanket off the bed, went and covered me and Courtney and went back to sleep. Then as my daughter woke us up freaking out. She wouldn't call it freaking out, crying when we did. Acting a little strange. Backing up into the corner like I said. What'd she say? She didn't say nothing really. She was just mama, pretty much all she said. And then Courtney said, get up and go check on Caliyah. I went in there and she was gone. So Courtney about $400. Anyway, we went outside my underwear and walked around, looked on the trailer a little bit. Started getting mad. Okay, sure. In between all that, my little girl was asked, what'd you do with baby 50? What'd you do with her? Where's she at? Who asked her that? Where'd you put her? What'd you do with her? She said, home. I ended up putting my clothes on. So I went looking pretty quick. That's the same clothes we just took from you, is that right? Yes, sir. And you said you weren't looking where? I mean, I was going through it without looking everywhere.
"2020 continues.
Do you ever think about what can be done with normal, everyday products? Well, here's a clever idea. You can make a couch out of FedEx boxes or a bed. But if you do, you better not tell anyone, because as we've learned, FedEx might sue you.
When Jose Avila moved to Tempe, Arizona, he had no money for furniture. Then a friend of his sent him a picture of a desk he'd made out of FedEx boxes.
I looked at that and I was inspired and thought, hey, I could do that. And so I went and I did it.
He sure did.
In here I have my L-shaped desk and a chair and a small bookshelf.
All made of FedEx boxes.
We have my dining set over here.
The boxes were free. He had tons of them at his house.
I do a bunch of shipping.
So he kept building. He made this couch out of boxes.
Small, medium, large, and some padded packs. In the center I have a hidden storage compartment. And I use that to store a bunch of books and my passport. I built this bed here and the nightstand over here.
Are FedEx boxes really sturdy enough for a bed? Well, yes. Then he created a website he named FedExFurniture.com.
I thought I could go out there and maybe inspire somebody and show people that, you know what, it's okay to be ghetto when you're in a bind, when you're feeling down. Go out there and be creative and you can get by.
But the site earned him a phone call and threatening letters from FedEx saying cease and desist and telling him to transfer registration of the website to FedEx.
I really didn't have enough money to go out and buy furniture, and they're over here threatening to sue me into an oblivion.
Even though Jose never offered to sell FedEx furniture, he got pages of legal threats saying he was commercially exploiting FedEx, that the website willfully infringed FedEx's rights. And because he used the free boxes for furniture instead of shipping, he did not obtain the packaging lawfully.
I really don't see that I'm stealing the boxes. I had the boxes already laying around, and how can you steal something that's free?
FedEx wouldn't do an interview about this, but wrote us saying this is not about the furniture, but rather about Mr. Avila respecting our rights. Come on. On the web, there's furniture made out of beer cans, gladiator costumes made of beer labels. Sports Illustrated did a spread with a model wearing only Mexican beer bottle caps.
Hello.
American Express didn't object when this woman wore their cards at the Oscars.
Thank you.
But FedEx says this site must go?
I feel like if I take the site down, it'll show companies that it's okay to push around the little guy and just toss lawsuits at somebody to get them to take down the information that you don't like.
Right. So 3 cheers for Jose and his silly furniture. But to FedEx, whose shipping service I love, give me a break.
We'll be right back.